Hello, hello. Good afternoon. Let's get IG on here. How are you guys doing out there today? How are you? All right, IG is online. How you guys doing out there on this lovely Thursday afternoon? This week is really flying by pretty fast. This is already Thursday. So, guys, Elaine Proby here, CEO of PROBY'S Tax and Accountant. I want to welcome you guys on here today. We're going to talk about something that's seriously important. Getting a lot of calls on this: tax refund delays. Tax refund delays. I'm sure you guys want to hear about this. Either you or someone you know may have not gotten their tax refund for 2020, and some people who have filed 2 years of taxes, maybe, or even 3, 2019 and or 20, may not have gotten their tax refund. Specifically, the people who filed their 2020 taxes and filed them on time, filed them early. There's some people who have not gotten those refunds because I've gotten a lot of calls from some of those folks and they want to know what happened to their IRS tax refund. Okay, so we want to talk about that today. Hi, Chris Nav. Thanks for jumping on here. I want to give you guys 5 reasons why your IRS tax refund might be delayed. I'll give you guys 5 reasons, and at least this will obviously ease some of the tension of, wondering if maybe something is just wrong with your tax return. Generally, people seem to think that maybe something is wrong with their taxes if it is delayed and they haven't gotten it. But refunds have been delayed pretty much all of this year. Okay, so I'll give you 5 reasons why the tax refunds have been delayed for your 2020. So it's nothing personal, guys, nothing personal. It's just a lot of stuff that's going on. There's a lot of different factors that is causing the IRS delay in processing millions and millions of tax returns. And so I'll give you those 5 reasons today. Again, Elaine Proby, CEO of PROBY'S Tax and Accounting. I want to welcome you guys on here today. Hit like and share this video and, get it out there to your friends. We'd appreciate it if you guys get to sharing this video so other people can get this information as well. So let's just jump into one of the first reasons why there is a delay in processing the 2020 tax refunds, guys. So the first reason I want to talk about is the backlog, right? So what happened is the IRS had 2019 returns. That is creating a super huge backlog because a lot of those returns that was filed last year. And if you recall, a lot of people had gotten extensions last year. There was an extension on tax returns in 2020 for the 2019 tax return processing. And of course, due to COVID, a lot of those returns were not processed because a lot of the employees were not even at work. So what happened is that 2019 returns have been piled up. A lot of returns have been mailed in, and a lot of the employees that was working from home, a lot of returns were not processed. So the IRS had to process millions of tax returns from 2019, right? So that's one of the biggest problems that they were having prior to getting started with the 2020 tax season. So the backlog for 2019, there was a lot of returns that was mailed in. These returns were just sitting. And some of them had to be manually processed, and that even take much longer because the manual processing, they have to physically process those returns, guys. So before they could even get into the 2020 taxes, the 2019 returns were sitting there backlogged due to COVID. A lot of employees was not at work. Nobody was there processing these returns. Offices were closed. As you guys know, a lot of offices were closed, including the IRS office, so they weren't there to process these returns. So the first reason why your return is being delayed, right, there's the backlog from the 2019 return. Second reason why your return is delayed. So again, don't feel that this is personal, but the second reason is there was a lot of pandemic-related changes to the tax code. So what happens is every year the IRS has to update their tax code according to whatever the new rules are, right? So we're on reason number 2. So what they do, they have to update the tax code according to the new rules. But because of the pandemic, there were a lot of additional updates that had to take place. So they had to update the tax code based on the fact that we had, remember, the unemployment. They revised the unemployment. So, and they were late getting this updated. There were some people who had owed taxes, filed their taxes for 2020, and they revised the unemployment based on the act. They revised the unemployment. They had to go back and they had to update the computer so that it can process the unemployment properly. There's about $10,200, as you guys may know, of unemployment that was not taxed, right? This was not in the original tax code of the IRS, so they had to make changes to this. So the unemployment tax code, they had to update. They had to update all of the different earned income credit because there were changes in that. And then more so, they had to update. They were actually giving out all these stimulus checks, right? We got stimulus check number 2 that started in December. So they started processing stimulus check number 2 in December, and they processed that all the way through January, those $600 checks, guys, remember that? So that was all done prior to the tax season getting started. And so what happened is they had to get the tax code and everything updated. They had to process this second stimulus check, which was that $600 check. Then they had to process the third stimulus check. So this is the thing. There's all these different things that is completely new that was taking place. And so the IRS was constantly changing computer system, updating this stuff. They had to get new programs. New programmers had to come in and reprogram some of these, reprogram the computers so that they can accommodate all these different changes. Okay, so this is the second reason why your return and refund is delayed, guys. Again, we're talking about 5 reasons why your refund is delayed. A lot of people haven't gotten their money yet, and a lot of people I know because they have been calling me. And I just one reason why I chose to speak on this today. Hi, Godfrey. Good afternoon. Thanks for jumping on. Hey, Lana. Thank you. Thank you. Kenya Brand, thank you also for jumping in here. Nashville, thanks for jumping in. Thank you guys for tuning in here today. We're talking about the tax refund delays. I know either you guys or you know someone or a family member or a friend who have not gotten their tax refund yet. And so I chose to talk about this topic today because a lot of people have been calling my office and want to know why they haven't gotten their refund that they processed months ago. Okay. So the second reason was the pandemic related changes. They had to reprogram computers to be able to send out the stimulus check again, and to update some of the earned income credit rules for the new year. And this is along with all of the other tax code changes that they normally do anyway. Okay, so you had additional changes that had to be done. This all takes programming, guys. It's not simple. There's a lot of complex programming that takes place with the computer system. Okay, and so then the next one is the recovery rebate. Now, you guys, the number 3 is the rebate recovery credit. Now, if you didn't get your stimulus check number 1, which is a $1,200 back in May, I guess, or April when that came out. If you didn't get your stimulus check number 2, which is the $600 that came out either in December or January, on your 2020 taxes, you were able to claim what is called a recovery rebate credit. The recovery rebate credit will give you that stimulus money that you didn't get, right? So because of the recovery rebate, some of these taxes were chose to be reviewed simply because, now you remember the IRS mailed out to some people, they mail out these cards, they mailed out checks for the recovery for the stimulus check. Some people never got that money. So when the taxes were filed for 2020, they were saying that they never got their rebate. So what happens is when we put on the tax return that you never got your stimulus check, guys, then the IRS is supposed to give that money to you as a refund. But if they had already mailed you that check, for some reason, even if you never got it, their system is stating, and I want to make this clear, their system is saying you got the money. You may not have received it, but the computer system of the IRS is saying they send you out your stimulus check. They sent you the $1,200. They sent you the $600. If you didn't receive either one of those, and we filed your return for 2020, and we say you never got that, when it goes to their computer, it is being flagged because the computer system says you've got the rebate, you've got your stimulus check. You're not entitled to the rebate because you've got your stimulus check, okay? So you see the confusion there, guys. What they have to do in that case is they really have to manually flag your return, set it aside, and then they got to investigate and they got to look and see what happened to the stimulus check, and or should they give you that credit as a recovery rebate credit on your tax return. That sounds like a whole lot. That's a lot of delays. That's weeks, maybe even months. Okay. So the rebate recovery credit, which is a part of you getting the stimulus check, all of it or none of it, and you claim it on your 2020 taxes. And because they got to review that, some of it manually process it, then that is delaying your refund even longer, maybe by weeks or even months. Okay. So that's the third point today, guys. Fourth, stimulus check number 2 and 3. So they had to process the stimulus check number 2. They started in December, and by January, they had to send those checks out. You know, the rule said they had to get those checks out because the American people is waiting on that money. They had to get those checks out, okay? So the stimulus check number 2, they had to process that really fast, and they had to jump up and get those checks out immediately, and that was really quickly done. And then after that, they had to send out the stimulus check 3. That's the $1,400 check. All of this is happening during the manual processing of the 2000 tax backlog that they had, and before they are able to even start the processing for the 2020 tax returns, right? So all this is happening in between. And remember, again, this is all new. The IRS never had these situations before. Okay, so this is one of the reasons. 2, number 4, why they are backlogged. So with the 3rd stimulus check, that $1,400 check, they were sending it out based on the people who have filed in 2019. So just imagine the 2019 checks are not, returns are not being processed. They are delayed by millions and millions of those returns because they weren't able to be processed. So now your stimulus check number 3, which is the $1,400, that's being delayed, right? Because they can't base it on your 2019 taxes because they haven't processed it yet. And then your 2020 is, of course, not done. So there's a delay with the stimulus check. And believe me, I get all these calls. There's a delay with the stimulus check, and there's a delay with getting your refund. Okay, so stimulus check number 2 and stimulus check number 3 has a lot to do with the reason why you are not getting your 2020 refund on time, right? So then I want to move on to number 5. Thank you guys for jumping on here. Hi, Andy, 80 Trap, thank you for jumping in. All right, Rod Smith, thank you for jumping on here. So let's move on to the 5th point, guys. Updated child tax credit. Now, you guys hear a lot about this child tax credit and what the IRS decided to do. And it's not even the IRS. Of course, these all have to do with the American Rescue Plan, where they're trying to get more money to the American family because of COVID. So the 5th point here I'm making today, they had to update the child tax credit. Now, if you guys recall, there's an increase in child tax credit. There's $3,000 per child between the ages up to the age of 17. And if the child is under 6, they can get $3,600 per child. And the American Rescue Plan has said, we want the American people to have money early. So we're going to take the next 6 months from July to December, and we want to give them some of this child tax credit up front and pay them on a monthly basis. So now the IRS is having to go back to we are sending out monthly checks. This is all brand new. They've never done this before. Again, that takes some more programming. That takes some more computer programming, updating. In the meantime, they are supposed to be processing the 2020 taxes and getting people's refund out, right? So now they have to update their computer to send out these monthly payments. Some people may have already gotten those. I've gotten calls today, first thing this morning, somebody said, oh, I got my $250 in my bank account. Some people have already gotten, they have already sent that out. They said to, let's see, over 100 million people have gotten that money. Those monthly payments of $250 or $300. Now they're doing all this, processing the 2020 tax return in order to get your refund out to you guys. So there's a lot going on. There's so many different factors. And so again, this is all brand new. These monthly payments is brand new. These stimulus checks is brand new. Processing these taxes is brand new. Processing these stimulus checks is brand new. Okay. So that's the 5th reason why your refund is delayed. And if you haven't gotten your refund yet, it's nothing to do with you personally, but it has to do with all of the different factors that's keeping the IRS from getting those refunds out as they should. Okay. So that's what we're talking about today. I know that sounds like a whole lot. Hi, Ms. John Smith. What about those? She has a question. What about those of us that have no kids? Those of you that have no kids, in terms of the child tax credit, well, though there's no child tax credit if you have no kids, because yeah, this is basically for the kids. And again, the ones that are under 17. So some people who have had kids that were 17 last year or whatever year before, they're basing this on the kids that are under 17. And this is an advance on your child tax credit for your 2021 taxes. Now, we had a session about this, guys. For those people, and I just want to say this while we are on the topic, for those people who may have taken this or who are taking this advance, be careful. Make sure you review your taxes and make sure that you're not going to owe next year, because if you don't have those dependents that you had on your 2020 taxes, if you no longer have them for 2021 for whatever reason, then you could owe taxes. Okay, so I want to make sure that you guys review that very carefully. What else we got on here? Hi, Janice Lomagardi, Trevor A. Let's see. Janice have a question? Okay, so Trevor, I have to hear this. Okay, good. Awesome. All right, guys, so let's recap again. Why your tax refund may be delayed. I have 5 reasons that I want to talk about today, that we talked about today. Reason number 1, the 2019 backlog. Keep in mind 2019 taxes, because it was COVID last year, a lot of those taxes, if they were mailed in, or everybody used up the extension, send them in late in October or July, whatever time it was, nobody was in the office to process anything that was done manually. So all those 2019 taxes were sitting, they used the word sitting around in trailers, and they had to go get them and manually process those, and nobody was in the office to process those things. So they had to come in and do those. They also had taxes prior to 2019, but mostly the 2019 because of the pandemic. Number 2, pandemic related changes to the tax code. They had to upgrade and they had to reprogram a lot of the tax programs. Normally, there's an annual tax programming that takes place because of all the new tax law changes. This year, guys, because of the pandemic related changes, there's a lot more that they had to upgrade. I mean, they had to reprogram. They had to reprogram everything for the unemployment, specifically one of those things. There was additional child tax credit that had to be programmed, and they had to talk about the stimulus checks, and the IRS was going to be sending out letters. Some of you have gotten those letters too, stating what you got for stimulus and what you needed to have taken to get your taxes prepared. The people who have gotten those letters, of course, they was able to know what they got, what the IRS really sent them, and they were able to process their 2020 return with that information, which then have them be able to expedite your taxes even quicker. Number 3, recovery rebate credit, which is what we're talking about. If you never got that letter and we don't know exactly what you got for your recovery rebate, which is the stimulus check. If the stimulus check was mailed to you guys and you came and did your taxes, you said never got my stimulus check, and we put it on those taxes as a recovery rebate, when it goes into the IRS, they're going to find out that they sent out that payment to you, whether you receive it or not. And this would pull your return. They will have to review that return, process it manually, make sure that it matches up, that you never got that money for the stimulus check before they give you that recovery rebate credit on your taxes. More delays there, guys. Number 4, again, like I said, because the IRS had to send out these stimulus checks right in the midst of processing the 2020 tax return, especially stimulus check number 3, the $1,400 one. They started sending those checks out. Tax season started officially February the 12th. They were processing these stimulus check on the 3rd one before tax season officially started. So tax season got started right in the midst of all of this. So that delayed the process a bit. And so by the time they finished trying to send out those stimulus check for the 3rd one, and then they started processing the tax season returns that was coming in. Okay, so that delayed things even further, guys. So that's my 4th point. And the 5th one is the updated child tax credit, because they wanted to give this money in advance to the families for the last 6 months of the year. Monthly payments, $250 or $300 per child, depending on their age, guys, and if you're eligible, depending on your income, of course, because they're doing that brand new information. They have never done this before. Monthly payments for the IRS is brand new. They had to reprogram all the computers to be able to allow this to happen. So it's so much going on. Again, these are the reasons, guys, why if you have not seen your tax refund, it's nothing personal. There's nothing that they're actually reviewing on you personally. It's because of all these different components is the reason why you may not have gotten your refund yet. So that's what we want to talk about today. Again, I wanted to address that. I see something over here from Sharice Ford. Can you flash that on the screen? Okay, at least now I know what happened to my refund check. Right, thank you for the information. Yeah, so now you know what happened, guys. Again, that's one of the reasons. And then, one last thing before I get off the subject, I want to let you guys know the Where Is My Refund tool that's on the IRS website, right? There's a Where Is My Refund tool on the IRS website, and a lot of people have been using that. When you go to the Where Is My Refund tool, it may say return is still pending. And it means that they have your return, it is processing, it is still pending. So it's going through all this, this whole process that they have to do, and then the delays that they got going on. So basically, the only thing you know is they got the return. That's it. So at least you don't have to worry about where is my return. You know the IRS got it, it's still pending. And again, it's processing. You don't get a reason from the Where's My Refund tool. You don't get a reason, but you know they have it and you know they're processing. And it could be that way for 4 weeks, 6 weeks, maybe even 8 weeks, depending when they get to processing it. If nothing is wrong with your return, guys, that money will come. If something is wrong, then they will send you a letter and you will know what happened there. And if you try calling them, they said they've gotten millions and millions of calls. The backlog even on calls. Some of you have tried calling. You guys know that story is hours on the phone because they're also back with millions and millions and millions of calls. So the manpower is just really not there. Okay. So that's what I have to say today on the tax refund delays. I want to thank you guys for jumping in on that again, and appreciate you guys for putting your notification on and joining us here every Tuesday and Thursday. On Tuesday, our live is generally, it's business related, especially small businesses, start a business. And on Thursday, we talked about a lot of stuff that affect financially the individual and your personal side of the finances, taxes and otherwise. So before I leave today, I'm so excited, guys. Very excited to share this with you this evening at 6 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. This evening, we get to do launch our first free webinar, and we're talking about 10 reasons why you should actually start your own business. So if you were, like I said, on the fence and undecided, some people want to start a business, they don't know if they should. And one of the things I said, guys, in my promo is that you are already operating a business. A lot of you guys are operating a business right now. You're out there doing a lot of stuff. Maybe you're selling food, you're doing promotional, you're having events, you're an entertainer, you're entertaining folks. You're doing a lot of stuff, you have a passion of something that you're making. Maybe you guys are creating some items that you have a passion about. Maybe just for a hobby, you're taking photos, you know what I mean? You could, everything that you're doing, it's already, you can turn it into a business, and you can make it official, guys. You can take advantage of all the tax credits and all the tax write-offs. We're going to talk about that, why you should turn it into a business. I want you guys to sign up. Go to elainesdesk.com today. Sign up for this free class. Great information why you should start a business. At the end of this, I'm sure if you had any idea whether you should do it or not, you will definitely get your business started. And you don't have to worry, because right after that, we're going to have another session that's going to teach you how you can get it going, what you need to do to get it operational, staying in compliance, and all this stuff is going to make you, get it going and get it right, get your business off the ground and become very, very, very successful. We teach you how to operate it. We have done this with men and women businesses. We start them off. We even incorporated those businesses. They're making millions of dollars today, guys. And we want to share that same information with you. Okay, so go to elainesdesk.com and sign up. All right. So with that said, guys, I want to see you guys this evening. See you guys this evening. I know some of you have already signed up. So I'll get to see you guys this evening at 6 p.m. If you signed up, you get a link to, it won't be live here. So if you have to sign up so you can get a link to where the class is going to be. It's free of charge. So sign up. See you guys there. All right. With that said, I am up out of here. You guys have a wonderful rest of your Thursday. I'll see you later. And you guys take care of each other and take care of yourself. Hi, Laverne. Thank you. Thank you. All right.